Most superhero origins kick off with a huge bang, right? A lab accident, a radioactive spider, a whole planet exploding. But today, we're diving into a hero whose story isn't forged in a single moment, but over a century and a half of actual history. This is the origin of Icon. So, what really makes a hero? Is it just about having powers and a good heart? Or is it something deeper, something shaped by hardship, by history, and by a very, very long life? Well, as we're about to see, the answer is a whole lot more complex than a simple twist of fate. All right, so our story doesn't start in some distant past. Nope, it kicks off in the modern day with a quiet, carefully built life that's about to be completely shattered. I want you to picture this. Augustus Freeman IV. He's this wealthy, super conservative lawyer living in total isolation from the world. And then bam, his home gets invaded. To protect himself, he's forced to do the one thing he's been avoiding for decades: use his powers where someone can see him. Now, you'd think anyone would be terrified seeing something like that, but one of the intruders, a teenager named Raquel Irvin, she's not afraid at all. She sees what he can do, and she doesn't see a monster. She sees a hero. And that one single moment of inspiration, well, it's the spark that changes absolutely everything. So, who is this guy? Seriously, where did he come from? To really get Augustus Freeman, we have to rewind the clock. And I mean, way back. Just look at this timeline. It gives you a sense of the incredible scope of his life. We're not just jumping back a few years. We're going from tonight's chaotic revelation all the way through his reclusive life in the 20th century, past the Civil War, landing at a crash in 1839. So this is it. This is where it all begins. An alien starliner has a catastrophic failure and explodes. A single life pod gets jettisoned out and it comes hurtling towards Earth. But pay attention to where and when it lands. A cotton field in the American South in the year 1839. This is not a random setting. This is the crucible that is going to forge his entire identity. So the pod has this incredible piece of survival tech. It's programmed to scan the first intelligent life form it comes across and instantly rewrite the DNA of its passenger to match them perfectly. It's the ultimate camouflage, designed for survival, no matter the cost. And the first sentient being that the pod finds is an enslaved woman named Miriam. In an instant, that alien infant is completely transformed. He emerges looking like a human baby, a black baby, a form that ensures his survival, but also anchors his destiny to one of the most brutal and complicated chapters in all of human history. That single event, right there, sets the stage for a life and a perspective that is completely unique in the entire world of superheroes. Miriam raises him as her own son, Arnis. Can you even imagine that? Possessing superhuman strength, a genius intellect, all while living in bondage. The lessons he learns aren't about his powers. They're about endurance, about caution, and about the deep, profound value of patience, all taught to him by the woman who becomes his moral compass. So, because he ages incredibly slowly, he's forced to reinvent himself over and over again, eventually becoming Augustus Freeman IV. This creates this fascinating split inside him. You've got Arnis, the survivor, whose connection to humanity was forged in the fires of hardship. And then you have Augustus, the recluse, whose long, long life has made him detached, conservative, and deeply wary of getting involved. And that brings us right back to where we started, the break-in and the massive ideological collision that it's about to set off. This is Augustus's core philosophy, hardened over 150 years of watching humanity fight and fail and fight again. He truly believes that a powerful outsider stepping in just does more harm than good. From his perspective, after everything he's seen, it's a perfectly logical conclusion. But Raquel hits back with a powerful counterargument. For her, it's simple. If you have the power to help, you have the responsibility to help. She sees his gifts not as a temptation to interfere, but as a moral obligation to act. It is pure, youthful idealism crashing head-on into hardened, world-weary cynicism. And her passionate, direct challenge is the one thing, the only thing that manages to break through more than a century of self-imposed isolation. It's not a global disaster or an alien invasion that gets him to finally act. It's a young woman demanding he use his incredible gifts for good. So this whole confrontation, it doesn't just reveal his powers, it forces a profound spiritual awakening.
See, this path right here shows that becoming a hero wasn't a snap decision for him. It was a process. After an entire century of just being a bystander, Raquel's challenge sparks this deep spiritual reevaluation. He finally moves from being an observer to a participant, accepting Earth as his true responsibility and becoming Icon.
And what's so crucial is that he doesn't do it alone. He makes Raquel his partner, Rocket. And this partnership is so deeply symbolic. It connects his alien past, his long and difficult history here on Earth, and the hopeful, idealistic future that Raquel represents. So when you put all of these pieces together, what you get is an origin story that just completely subverts our expectations. This table makes the distinction crystal clear. A traditional alien hero, they land somewhere safe, a place of privilege, and their journey feels like destiny. But Icon? He lands right in the middle of systemic injustice. He's adopted into bondage, and his decision to become a hero is a reluctant, conscious choice that he makes after 150 years. His core conflict isn't about hiding his alien identity. It's about whether he should even bother engaging with a flawed humanity he knows all too well. Ultimately, what Icon's origin is telling us is that true heroism, it isn't just about what you can do. It's about choosing to do it. It's about having the courage to step into a messy, flawed world and try to make a difference, especially when you have every single reason to just turn your back and walk away. And that leaves us with a really provocative final question. Icon was forged by the specific historical experience he was dropped into. It really makes you think, if power and purpose are truly shaped by our experiences, what kind of experiences are forging the heroes that we need for the world right now?